kidnappings in our evening newscasts every day. They're becoming commonplace. The grisly trademark of an epidemic that's spreading rapidly through major cities all over the world. Political terrorism. A favorite method is the vehicle ambush, and in some European nations it happens 2 or 3 times a week. A government official on his way to work never arrives. A corporate executive on his way home winds up instead in the hands of terrorists who hold him for ransom. This is the story of a single American who's fighting a deadly war against this frightening ambush in the streets. He is former race car driver Tony Scotti. He runs one of the world's most unusual driving schools. There's only one subject taught here: how to avoid and escape vehicle kidnappings and assassinations. I traveled to the school's secret location, somewhere in the Northeast, to sit in on a training session. We can't show you the faces of the students at this or any other school session. I was told that could jeopardize their safety. They're drivers for prime ministers, corporation presidents, and other high officials in business and government. As the class proceeded, you could hear a pin drop. As I said before, this is no ordinary driving school.
The basic purpose of why you're here is to save your life. Although the person that they're going to be going after is the person that's sitting behind you, the easiest way to stop the vehicle is to stop you. In Italy, they simply pull the car over and take out the driver, tell him to kneel, and put a bullet in the back of his head. If you know you're about to die, you have 2 choices. You can sit and take it, or you can fight back.
Fighting back means learning to push a car to its limits. Students master high-speed getaway maneuvers based on race car techniques. When faced with ambush by another car, every second will count. This is also the only driving school I know of with an optional course in firearms. What does it actually mean, though, if someone perhaps doesn't get an A in the class, what could possibly be the consequences of that?
He could be dead.
Tony invited me to get behind the wheel myself to try out the life-saving maneuvers students must learn here. Car ambushes almost always begin with one vehicle cutting off another, so escape depends on reversing your car's direction in a matter of seconds. In a dizzying drill, I learned to use my emergency and foot brakes to help me quickly spin my car 180 degrees without losing control, and in one lane of traffic. It's not much fun if you're prone to car sickness, but students know they must perfect these techniques or else. In surprise ambushes like this one, based on real-life case histories, skill and reaction time are tested again and again. Has it made life difficult for you, trying to run this school? Are there people who would be very interested in seeing that your school doesn't exist?
There are people interested in seeing that I don't exist, yes.
Scotti is feared and hated by the international terrorist community. He's interrogated captured guerrillas in prison, and he's even read their own handbooks. So he's able to pass on valuable inside tips to his clients, like being unpredictable and varying driving routes from one day to the next. Urban guerrillas feel successful ambushes like this one depend on the victims having established a driving routine. The old saying, "Know your enemy," has paid off for Tony Scotti and his students. At least 9 attempted kidnappings and assassinations have been foiled by Scotti graduates. When there's bad news in the international headlines, it usually means good business for Tony Scotti, yet there are some job offers even he turns down.
It's just in some countries, I have a hard time figuring out who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. Sometimes the people that want to hire you, you kind of figure that they're maybe not on the right side. And so you have to make a big decision at that point. At that point, what we usually decide is that we just as soon not do it.
Tony Scotti's students usually come to him, but sometimes he goes to them. He's given lectures and conducted his advanced driving clinic in Europe, Latin America, and the Mideast, wherever violence and urban terrorism are on the rise. Unlike most of us, he's had a chance to get a close-up look at the chaos and political upheaval that's part of everyday life outside of these United States. And he's always happy and relieved to come home.
Many people who complain about this country, we ought to maybe all pitch in and give them a ticket and have them spend a couple of weeks in some of these countries. And I think they'll appreciate what they have here a lot more.